Hello and welcome to our reflection for Christmas Eve, brought to you by the Horwich and Rivington team of churches. I'm Reverend Gill. The latest restrictions have changed many people's Christmas plans. This will be very hard on people who are living on their own and had hoped to spend time with their family. For some it would have been the first time since March. A month ago we didn't know what to expect for Christmas. And now, less than a week ago, the restrictions were tightened again. Listening to the news, it's probable that most of the country will be in Tier 4 or lockdown after Christmas. I think many people had hoped that the pandemic would be over by now. We didn't expect to be facing another lockdown. If we cast our minds back to the first Christmas, a teenage girl didn't expect to carry the Son of God. Her fiancé didn't expect to become a father. They didn't expect the baby to be born in an animal shelter. They didn't expect to be visited by angels, shepherds or magi. So much about that first Christmas was unexpected. Now, over 2,000 years later, this Christmas holds much that is unexpected. It will be much simpler than previous years. The first Christmas was simple. Nothing fancy or elaborate about it, so why shouldn't this one be simple? There are many this year who can't afford a fancy Christmas, but it can still be fun. We don't need a lot of fancy food, some of which won't be eaten and ends up in the bin. A simple roast dinner is just as good, followed by a favourite pudding. My sons want stew for Christmas dinner, so who am I to argue with them? People don't need lots of expensive presents. I know someone who's making biscuits for her friends as presents, and they will be much appreciated. Homemade things always are appreciated, because it says, I've taken time to make these for you because I love you. Many people would prefer to have a phone call or a Zoom meeting from a relative than an expensive jumper or a piece of jewellery. Mary and Joseph made a difference, going against the convention of the time and bringing up the baby, our Saviour. They brought him up together, when really Joseph could have just walked out and said, it's nothing to do with me. God chose unexpected people to have and raise his son. The birth was in an unexpected place, an animal shelter. The baby's first visitors were unexpected, lowly shepherds who were often looked down on with disdain. Who would expect God's Son, the Messiah and Saviour of mankind, to be born in such a lowly place, with lowly people, the first visitors? The boy was to bring light in a dark land, a light that would never be overcome by the darkness. That light can still be seen today in our dark world. Ordinary people are working in these dark times to bring light to those on their own. A postman who at the start of lockdown told the vulnerable on his round to contact him if they needed shopping or anything. Someone phoned him one day because they felt ill. He went round and he saved their life. Little Tony Hudgell, inspired to walk by Captain Tom, has raised over £1 million for the hospital that saved his life. A lady who set up a community garden to produce vegetables for the community so they could afford to eat healthily. Pastor Mick and Father Alex feeding vulnerable people every day, people who have fallen through the cracks of the benefit system. And of course everyone who brought food to support urban outreach for the food bank and Christmas dinner on Jesus. These are ordinary people who care and bring light to those they help. Would you call them heroes or angels? Christmas is different and simpler. We don't all have to go out running marathons to raise money for charities, but we can all do something in these dark, unexpected days. Speak to our neighbour. Phone the friend or relation we haven't seen for a long time. Cook an extra lunch for someone on their own and deliver it to the door. The baby born all those years ago in an animal shelter brought light to the world. That light hasn't gone out, but is alive in all these ordinary people and their kind actions. I'd like to wish you all a very happy Christmas.